What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today it's time to redo the release schedule for the One Piece TCG. And I do this for a bunch of TCGs on this channel and my Pokemon channel, PTCG Radio, because quite simply, things change with TCGs quite a lot. New products get revealed, new information comes out for products we already knew about. It gets a little bit confusing and it can be a pain to really figure out what's coming when and what we need to worry about. That's where I come in, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do the work so you don't have to. So the next thing which is officially being released is in June, which is Starter Deck 7 Big Mum Pirates. Yes, I'm aware we're sitting here in April. I am aware that next month is May, and the month after is June. As it stands at the moment, and obviously if anything changes I will let you know, but as it stands at the moment, there is nothing else coming out. There's no new set, there's no new starter deck, and what we've basically got at the moment is, well, time to finish. Time to pick up what we've not picked up till now, and yeah, just kind of have fun with it. Now, we don't have an actual release date here, but we do have distributor release dates of the 30th of June. So officially, it is just June, nothing more than June, but 30th of June, these distributor dates, I've been using them for a bunch of games for a while now. I'm generally pretty good at this, incidentally. So, as in knowing what to believe and what not to believe. So I feel good about this June 30th release date, but it is not official, and that is very important to point out. Now, Starter Deck 7 is, of course, very important. It is the starter deck that brings yellow into the One Piece TCG, and it brings us the leader, Charlotte Linlin, who, when attacking Don X2, lets you add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand, and then if your life is at 2 or less, you can place a card from your hand on top of your life. And that's kind of the hook of yellow. You rearrange your life, hopefully trying to make sure that you can get good triggers on top of your life, and you can rearrange your opponents a bit to try and make sure they don't have good triggers, and you can take extra life early to give yourself a card advantage, which is obviously pretty gosh darn good. And then there are skills that activate when you are, behind on life and all things like that. I like the super rare Charlotte Katakuri from the starter deck, whereby when you play, you look at up to one card from the top or bottom of yours or your opponent's life, and then put it back at the top or bottom of the life area. Again, trying to make sure you've got a trigger your opponent doesn't. And then if you've got fewer life cards than your opponent, you gain Rush, which is cool. The other designated super rare in the deck is the Charlotte Linlin. So this is a deck, it's the first yellow we've seen. It's kind of cool, honestly. And that's, your very, very super quick primer on what yellow is and what yellow does. But then also coming in June, we've got the release of Pillars of Strength, OPO3. Now, worth bearing in mind that once again, we've got a generic release date of June. And once again, we've got a distributor release date of the 30th of June. And this does make sense, of course, because that's the same day as Starter Deck 7, and it is worth pointing out that OPO1 and OPO2 both launched on the same day as Starter Decks, so it would make sense that OPO3 does as well. Now, the good news is this is also bringing yellow into the One Piece TCG, so on the same day you've got a set that's got yellow and a starter deck that's got yellow, which is a very cool thing. And we've got new leaders in the set, like the Ace that lets you trash event and stage cards when you're attacking or defending to boost by 1,000 as you do so. We've got that Nami that if you mill yourself to have 0 cards remaining in deck, you actually win the game rather than losing, which is pretty gosh darn cool. We've got secret rares. We've got a Charlotte Katakuri secret rare, and we've got ourselves a Soja King secret rare, which is, take it or leave it. But the Soja King does actually also have a manga rare. I believe this is the least sought after of the manga rares so far. That doesn't mean that it's going to be super duper crazy cheap or anything silly like that. It means it is the least sought after of them so far. It is also worth pointing out that the design of the alternate art leaders is changing in this set. Instead of the zoomed in manga faces, we have ones that look a little bit more like this. Feel free to be upset about it if you want. That's just the way it is. And then we've also got ourselves some wanted poster rares. So there's Luffy and Don Quixote do Flamingo, and we've got Kaido, and we've got ourselves Eustace Captain Kidd. So they are coming in with this set as well, that are, you know, these cool little rare cards that are jumping in as well, and just making the set that little more interesting, which I, for one, personally very much appreciate. Obviously, you know, going through the release schedule here, I'm only giving you, you know, a couple of headlines about all of the sets, just because otherwise we'd be here forever, but basically, Pillars of Strength has got a lot to be excited about. Now, I have a listing on distributor websites of August the 11th, and that is for Starter Deck 8 featuring Luffy and Starter Deck 9 featuring Yamato. What I think is very important to point out at this stage, we don't actually have a listing on the official website for these starter decks. Now, the distributor listings, and like I've said, I'm going by reputable sites that have proven to be right all the time in the past. They are saying August the 11th. August the 11th makes sense. Of course, you'll notice here that after a big break before Starter Deck 7, it's starting to come quite thick and fast now. That's kind of what TCGs tend to do, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you look at it. But if you go onto the product page right now, over on the official website, we don't have a listing for these Starter Decks 8 and 9. It's not on the official site. But over in Japan, Starter Decks 8 and 9 were the next release after OPO3. And that would be the case here if this is true. And I'm expecting that to be the case. Not a promise, not a guarantee, but this seems very, very, very likely. Okay, I think that is important. In terms of the deck, so we've got the Luffy deck coming in here, which has yourself a Luffy leader. This is the one whereby during your turn, when a character is KO'd, you can attach a Rested Don card to this leader, which is pretty gosh darn cool. And then the designated super rares in this particular one, there is an Uta and there is a Shanks. So this is kind of cool. And then we've got the Yamato starter deck, which, shockingly enough, has Yamato. I know, who could possibly have guessed it? Now, Yamato is your leader here, and she's got a skill whereby Don X1 on your opponent's turn, if you have 2 or less life, this leader gains 1,000 power. So it's a deck whereby you want to try me going down. There's a couple of other cards that work around this as well, where you want to be going down to 2 life as fast as you can, but then sticking there and taking advantage of it. And in terms of your designated super rares here, you've got yourself a Kozuki Oden, and you've got yourself a Portgas D-Ace. So they are your super rares. These are and they are very much a pair of decks they were over in Japan. It seems to be that this is coming out on August the 11th, though like I've said, there is no current listing on the official website, so do take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. What we do have a listing for on the official website is OPO4 Kingdoms of Intrigue, which is coming out, officially it's coming out in September, and that is official, that is on the official site, that is confirmed. What we don't have is a more specific date, except on distributor websites, where it is being listed for the 22nd of September. Now, if anybody's wondering why distributors have release dates, but the official site isn't sharing them, it's so that they can change. Simple as that. So distributors get given release dates to help them to plan, but it's always very much on the understanding that they could change, and they don't actually get announced to the public officially until they are confirmed and Bandai are 100% certain that they're going to be able to actually deliver. And then that does make perfect sense, and I do understand that one entirely. But I just realised, some people might be wondering, well, hang on a second, we'll see, what's going on here? Why do we have these dates, but they're not being shared on the official website? That's the reason, by not sharing them on the official website, they leave it open to be able to change them later on, and nobody can complain if they get changed, because you're like, well, hang on a second, mate. I never actually confirmed this. Hold your horses. This was always a placeholder date. I told you there was going to be out here. Simple as that. It allows them to have a little bit of wiggle room, hopefully without annoying anybody too much. There we go. Now, Kingdoms of Intrigue, we've not actually seen a huge amount from this set so far. As I record, we have seen a few leaders. There is a Nefertari Vivi leader, which I am very, very ridiculously excited about, because it can basically give your characters rush. And it is worth noting there's a new kind of standard in OP04, which is you can have dual colour leaders with 5 life rather than 4, but they can't attack. There's also a Don Quixote do Flamingo that unrests or, activate 2 of your Don at the start of your opponent's turn, which is cool. And there is a super rare Black Luffy we've been shown as well. Our information about this set is not great at the moment, but as we learn more, it'll all be covered on this channel anyway. So yeah, that's coming out in September. Now, there are a couple of other things which are going to be coming out as well. The special good set Ace, Sabo, and Luffy is coming out in November. That is one I showed you recently, and it's cool. You get yourself the playmat and a promo Ace card and a storage box. It's kind of nice. Now, that is being handled over on Premium Bandai in the US, and pre-orders, well, they're already up as I record this. They are ending on April the 17th, so you should have just enough time to grab that if you wish. If you're not in the US, they're going to be found in local game stores. Similarly, there is a premium card collection film piece red with a bunch of alternate art red promos, which are awesome. And again, you need to go and grab that on Premium Bandai quickly if you're in the US. Outside of the US, if you're in Europe, etc., then you're going to need to go and, handle your local game store, sort it out that way. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's coming out. That's what's been confirmed. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you're excited about. Tell me what you're going to be picking up. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk One Piece and card games and a whole bunch of other fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. Oh, and join a Discord, that could be fun. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.